So, moving forward, we are fortunate to have with us Mr. Param Bhambra, founding partner at Mediate Guru and advocate at MCIARB. Sir is a seasoned professional with a wealth of experience and specialization in the realm of international arbitration. Devoting his career to the advancement of alternative dispute resolution, Mr. Bhamra actively speaks on and contributes to elevation of legal skills and knowledge amongst emerging law students. As a key figure at Mediate Guru, an esteemed international forum with a presence in over 150 countries, Sir plays a pivotal role in connecting seasoned mediators and arbitrators with aspiring lawyers and ADR practitioners. Specializing in international mediation and arbitration, he boasts an impressive literary portfolio, having authored over a dozen books and numerous publications featured in various national and international journals. Recognized for his exemplary contributions to the society, Mr. Param has received awards from NGOs for his dedicated work in the best interest of the community, particularly in providing educational opportunities to the underprivileged children. Beyond his scholarly pursuits, Sir has actively engages in nurturing the next generation of legal professionals. Sir has served as a judge for prestigious national and international ADR competitions and is profoundly affiliated with esteemed professional bodies. Mr. Bhamra holds memberships in Chartered Institute of Arbitrators, the Singapore International Arbitration Center, and the Mumbai Center for International Arbitration. We are thankful to him for his presence and panel discussion today. Sir, I request you to please come forward and encourage our students.
Good morning, everyone. Am I audible, right? Thank you so much. Thank you, Stuti ma'am and Mr. Jaitley for inviting me. That was quite an introduction. Thank you so much. I would like to say thank you to Dr. Sen for the opportunity, for the invite, and I'd like to say thank you to Professor Mishra for your kind words in your address. So, Ms. Srivastava and Mr. Pascal has already briefed you about restorative justice. You guys have a good grasp on it, right? All right. So, I won't repeat about restorative justice, but I can talk about mediation laws. Will that be okay? All right. And again, I can assume you guys have the basic knowledge about what is mediation through the session. Anyone? Should I just give a brief about mediation? All right. So what I'll do in my limited time, I will let you know about the evolution which mediation faced in India. So what happened is, I'll tell you a case. Around couple of years back, I got a call from one of my good friend. We were in school together. She got married, and after around 2 years, she called me that Param, I need a divorce. I'm like, okay, why? Things didn't work out. So, I asked what I could. Is there any domestic violence? Is there any dowry? Is something the issue? But she just responded that it's not working out. I'm like, okay. So, as you all know, I'm not an expert in family matters or divorce matters per se. So what I did, what I could, I referred her to mediation. What do you think would happen after that? Just take a rough idea. There can be no wrong answers. That should have been the scenario, but we live in a society, and when I told her that you should go for mediation, the first question was, what is mediation? Now I don't blame, she doesn't come from law background. So I explained her about mediation, about all the confidentiality, about all the privacy, all the benefits of mediation, how it's cost effective. And then you can assume that she would have said yes. She did not. She said, I don't want to go for mediation. And my question was, why? Any person with a right mind, I'm sorry for using that language, will say, yes, that's okay, let's go for mediation. But she again said no. And I asked why. She said, because I want to see the other person suffer. It's basically revenge. I want to see other person dragged through court, spend hefty amounts of money in court, and take revenge, like make that person suffer as I'm suffering. Understandable. So I referred her to a divorce attorney. It's still going on in court. It's around 4 years back. The court is still pending in court. So the evolution, where are we now? Just yesterday, I received a call for some other divorce matter. Mr. Mathur referred. Thank you for that. So the case was like, again, the premises, the facts were same. There was no domestic violence. There was nothing as such. Things aren't working out. So the lady wanted divorce, and the proceedings were already going on in the court. So she asked that I want to go for mediation. I said, okay, but if the proceedings are already going on, then why are you coming to, for mediation? She said, because I don't trust the court system anymore. I said, have the judge referred you to mediation? Because in divorce matters, it generally happens. The judge will refer you to mediation. She said, no. I said, okay. Then again, I inquired. Sorry for that. I inquired out of my curiosity. It's a good thing you want to go for mediation. But why? She said, I just want to talk to my husband, who she was going to divorce. But my advocates won't let me. They won't let me talk to my husband. Now, I'm an advocate as well. I totally understand and support that advocate decision. But on the other hand, the people are more moving towards mediation. What she wanted was just to have a talk with her husband, with a mediator present, to resolve any, hard feelings, any ill feelings, and just get it over with. So that's how the evolution is going on. Couple years back, people had no idea about mediation, but now they are more and more going towards mediation. The change can be attributed to. Are you guys familiar with the Cold War and post-Cold War strategies? So what happened in Cold War? The basic premise of Cold War was a difference of ideology between capitalism and communism. You guys are aware of that? We see it's USA versus USSR, but inherently it was capitalism versus communism. What does capitalism preach? Free market, right. What does communism preach? Basically state-owned. The difference between, in capitalism you have free market, in communism you have state-controlled enterprises. Can we make the same difference between mediation and courtrooms? Courtrooms are state-owned, mediations are private. So, see, that is the way we are going. With each passing day, we are moving more into free market style. I mean, we already are on the paper, but there's still some philosophical ideology to go. Because if we see, if we have an option to go to a government school or private school, where will we opt to go? Private school, right? If we have to go for an operation in government hospital or private hospital, where will we go? Private hospital. Because we want to have control of our own destiny. If we go to a courtroom, the judge will decide what will happen to us. If we go to mediation, the power to decide, the liberty will somehow be in our hands. I guess my panelists will agree to that. So that is why, as Professor Mishra also mentioned, mediation or ADR is the future, because it is loosely a private form of justice. The government systems, the state systems can only handle so much. We as a private individuals have to step in and take the burden. So again, the question emerges. This is for me to try to encourage you all to go into ADR. Do you guys want to know why I go into ADR or mediation per se? You guys want to know, or should I just skip? Okay. So, well, don't judge me on this. I was in my second year of law school. So, we are all confused what to do with our life, what to do, which field to go. Should we go in civil? Should we go in criminal? Should we go for judiciary? Well, that was not for me. So, there was one of our teacher. So, I reached out to her and I asked, ma'am, what should I do? So, she started giving me counseling that you can go for criminal, in that you have to read IPC, CRPC, evidence law. I said, nope, sorry, not going to happen. Then again, in civil, you have to read contract act, partnership, CPC. I'm like, okay, no, thank you. Then she mentioned mediation. I said, okay, for that, what do I have to study? Nothing. See, now we have mediation act, but at that time, there was no mediation act. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, so are you saying that to make a career in mediation, I don't have to, memorize a bear act? He said, no. I'm like, where do I sign up? There is no signing up. But again, we started Mediate Guru after that. And the reason behind that is, again, pendency of cases. As Sir mentioned, there are over 5 crore cases. So, how will we reduce the burden on judiciary? Through mediation. And again, one more thing we learned in our law school, if you want to stand out, you have to choose a very particular field early in your life. You can't just go, it's a basic business strategy. So you have to take first movers advantage. When we started Mediate Guru, there were only a couple of other mediation institutes in India. People had, even working lawyers, had no idea about mediation. I'm very disappointed to say that we organized a couple of few webinars, and in that it was based on mediation. And during that practice, in lawyers were asking questions about meditation, not mediation. Some people were asking what pose of yoga should we do, and I practically have no answer for that. So, yeah, it's a good field. Mediation is picking up. Ojaspita ma'am mentioned that institutional mediation is still very expensive to do. I agree, but not as expensive as institutional arbitration, and definitely not as expensive as your traditional litigation. Mediation can be over in, let's say, a couple of weeks, and after passing of Mediation Act, there's going to be huge scope in mediation in India. India can and will become a future of international mediation hub as well. And yeah, I think that's it from my side. Any questions?
Arbitration is though enforceable, arbitral award is though enforceable, but mediation and conciliation processes are not so enforceable in courts of law. So what if me and some other person are having some differences between us and we go for mediation, and then we come out with a contract, with an agreement, we conclude an agreement that this would be the mutual settlement, and that would amount to a contract that we settle this difference between us. So, will that contract be a valid contract or not?
So basically, all contracts will be valid in the court of law. Further, if you have been referred by court for mediation, then your mediation agreement will go to the court and it will have the same validity as of a court decree. Further, see, the point of mediation is both the party comes together and agree on something. And when you come and agree on something, there is a very less chance that you will go back on your word after that. See, because what happens is in mediation, we go for win-win method. If there's a dispute between me and you, and we are reaching some conclusion, I'm only agreeing to the agreement because I get something out of it and you get something out of it. So there's a very less chance of one of us to back down from our agreement. And well, there's mediation at now, so mediation agreements are enforceable.
Sir, if some party challenges that contract into the
Please,
clause,
please.
I understand your concern, but how do you enforce such a contract? There are a few ways. Of course, the party burden will be part of the court file. So many people that is important that's made to just criminal cases. For all the other cases, family cases, you already have some just form of agreement, and you can just have something just being mentioned if we disagree on a certain topic. We go again back to mediation, or we take other just action, go to arbitration, or just even just go to court. Some other ADR program, and you see then the level of escalation. Mediation is just the lowest just level to us having a conversation, and then at some point you need to have someone rule, just have some form of verdict, and then you go just to arbitration. Then you just go to court. Just as long as you have mentioned it, and that's why I invite just all lawyers just to look at these aspects. That's where lawyers just are important. People tend to like, with mediation, that lawyers are not necessary. No, I encourage them. I invite them to look at that because I'm not the expert in law. So they have to just see how it will take just into account. That way you secure it.
Sir, actually the thing is, I do have a specialization in this international commercial arbitration. But sir, what my concern is, I still find this enforceability of this ADR process is a gray area in law.
It's still in development, but it's the way just how you put it and how you just come just to agreement. What if it is the what if it's not going to work? These are discussions you have to have before. Not the happy scenario. We agree to it and everything will be okay. But you also have to equally have to discuss what happens if we disagree. How are we going to approach it then? And only then, I believe, and that's also what Mr. Param just said, because of that understanding, okay, that's the way we're going to go.
So,
Then it's just both just being cared, also just an international level.
sir, actually, what I think is it is still into that evolution stage.
It's always been an evolution stage because we're still just discovering, we're still developing. Look at just India, even though as we are maybe just a little bit more ahead as in the Netherlands with mediation or with our arbitration, but it's always developing. We're always learning from the situation as is. Let's see the influence of AI, social media, all new things we have to take into account. So it's always evolving.
Thank you.
And just to add a last bit to it, you mentioned that international commercial arbitration and enforceability issue. See, since one of the parties losing in arbitration, even in litigation, you'll notice that when you lose a case in a court, your advocate will not just say that go home, sleep it off. They'll say we'll go for appeal, we'll go for review, we'll go for reference, we'll do something out of this. So still then, the dispute still persists. You do appeal, review, reference. That is the same with arbitration. The person who's against the award is trunted. They will go for set aside order. So it will still take some time. See, that's the difference between arbitration. That's the difference between arbitration and mediation. Arbitration, one party is losing. In mediation, both the parties are winning. And thank you so much. I got informed. We'll take the questions last. Yes, please. Thank you.